strong. Let's clear this data off here and give you a bit more of a wide view. Through Goddard, the leading edge of the winds now moving through Cheney and St. Paul, towards Clonmel and Viola, towards Annis, Norwich, Adams. The winds will be a fair bit less intense on the western end of this line, but they still could be intense to 60 to 70 miles per hour, pushing now south of the US 400 and US 54 corridor. This is going to be getting down into portions of Harper and also Sumner counties now. The strongest winds remain in the Sedgwick County area. This is going to be closer to Wichita and likely moving directly through the Wichita metro. Now Valley Center through Mays and Park City are going to be next in line within about the next 10 minutes. This storm, again, capable of 80 to 90 mile per hour winds, and it's moving to the southeast at about 45 miles per hour. There is no evidence of any tornadic activity with this line, but the straight line winds is enough of a threat that you will want to make sure that you're seeking shelter. You likely got an alert on your phone not too long ago from the wireless emergency alert that whenever those are triggered, whenever you have severe thunderstorm winds that could be from 80 miles per hour or stronger, and that is what we are expecting to see roll into portions of western Sedgwick County. Again, we just had a gust in Hutchinson about 30 minutes ago of up to 90 miles per hour. It looks like this is going to continue to move off to the south and southeast through the Wichita metro within the next 10 to 15 minutes. Make sure that you are staying weather aware and staying safe throughout the rest of this morning. The severe thunderstorm watch will continue until 7 o'clock this morning. Portions of the western and northern areas that are under this watch will likely be dropped fairly soon, but the south central portions of the area that are under the watch need to be on high alert with these storms moving through. And this is only going to be round one. We're going to have another round of storms moving through later tonight. A moderate risk covering areas from Wichita all the way out to the state line. This is not concerning the morning activity. This is going to be a second round that fires up later on this evening and into tonight. That will likely be able to produce even the same caliber of winds that we're seeing this morning, potentially even a bit stronger, also with the threat of some large hailstones and a tornado or two not completely out of the question. Stormcast showing the morning round moving through. This will maybe have a bit of lingering activity through midday, but a bit of lull coming up into the early afternoon before more storms fire up, and we are going to be tracking the potential for more destructive extreme winds later tonight. 80 mile per hour plus winds with Boeing line segments setting up, and also we will have to track any storms that may be able to become isolated enough to pose a bit of a tornado threat. So this is going to be an active weather day. You will want to make sure that you're staying plugged in, staying with us on air, or you can go check out KSN.com to get more details whenever you need them. Also, make sure you have that KSN Storm Track 3 app downloaded because it can give you updates and alerts whenever you do wind up inside of a watch or a warning in your area. For now, we'll send you back over to regularly scheduled programming. Make sure you're staying weather aware and staying safe.
Yesterday.
Meteorologist Jack Maney here in the Storm Track 3 Weather Center. We are still tracking destructive winds moving into the Wichita metro as we speak. You can see the leading edge, the shelf cloud coming in from our downtown Wichita sky view camera. We're looking to the northwest. A lot of lightning back within the rain here, but this is going to be the leading edge of winds that have been in excess of 80 miles per hour as they have moved through portions of northwestern Sedgwick County. Let's take a look at radar and just show you where this line is moving through. Now coming right into the Wichita metro with a destructive tagged severe thunderstorm warning until 4:45 this morning for Sedgwick and Harvey counties. We've had reports of 80 to 90 mile per hour winds just to the northwest of the Wichita metro in Hutchinson. At the Hutchinson airport, we recorded an 89 mile per hour gust, and there was also a 90 mile per hour gust near Tescott in northern Kansas a little while ago. The leading edge of the line now coming through Park City and through Valley Center in Wichita. It will be about the next 5 minutes or so before that moves through. And then this line extends back to the west through Kingman County. Still severe, but not quite as intense winds moving through Kingman and portions closer to Zenda, Spivey, through Norwich and into Conway Springs. The worst of the winds are going to be along this leading edge where we're oriented from southwest to northeast. That's going to be from Newton through Sedgwick, through Park City, through Wichita, coming into Riverside, Derby before too much longer. These winds, again, 80 miles per hour has been a pretty common number we've seen, and we are going to be remaining under a severe thunderstorm watch through 7 o'clock this morning. Some areas to the north and west may be trimmed back a little earlier, but right now it is go time in Wichita for these severe thunderstorms as they roll in. We'll take another closer look at this line and show you the velocity data. The signature now just rolling into the northwest sides of Wichita, arriving at the Eisenhower Airport right now. Through northwest Wichita, the line is now extending along Interstate 135, or excuse me, Interstate 235 from Park City down through northwest Wichita towards the Cessna plant, Schult over towards Bainville, and this is going to continue moving off to the south and southeast at about 45 miles per hour. So this is coming right into Wichita right now. You will want to avoid west-facing windows. Again, 70 to 80 miles per hour could wind up breaking windows. It could knock tree limbs down. Just make sure that you are staying sheltered and staying away from the western and northern faces of your homes as this moves in. It looks like the winds are now starting to arrive here at the KSN studios in downtown Wichita. Another look at our Skyview camera from downtown showing the shake and rattle from the winds as they arrive. Again, these are going to be destructive, severe thunderstorm winds moving in, 70 to 80 mile per hour gusts possible. Right now, we're going to continue to gather more information here in the KSN studios, and we'll send you back over to regularly scheduled programming, but we'll be right back in just a few minutes with your KSN News at 4:30.
And we're
extreme damaging winds now moving into Wichita proper. We have just received a report from the National Weather Service in Wichita of a 101 mile per hour gust that just occurred at KICT, the Eisenhower International Airport, western sides of the Wichita Metro. These are going to be destructive winds that can blow windows out of your house. Again, if you're going to be on the western or northern faces of your house, avoid those windows at all costs. Do not watch the storm come in. These are the kind of winds that could easily blow your windows out. This is going to likely cause lots of power disruptions as it's through. And again, damaging winds. You could see a lot of large tree laying down with winds this strong. And this is right now in downtown Wichita. I'm going to step off and give us a wider view of radar over portions of South Central Kansas. This is now coming on in from the in the Wichita. This is arriving on our doorstep. We have again reported a 101 mile per hour gust out of the Wichita airport. This is destructive, dangerous wind that could even potentially be deadly if you're caught out in it, if you are not avoiding those west windows that could get blown inwards. Just don't be in windows as this comes on in, because it could wind up causing injuries with the damaging winds that are going to be moving into Wichita right now as we speak. Switching this over to our analysis tab showing the winds. Leading edge of this is now coming into Riverside through the southern sides of the Wichita Metro. It has arrived in downtown, and this is going to be moving over into the eastern side of the Wichita Metro near McConnell Air Force Base within about the next 5 minutes or so, through Hayesville, Sunset Park, Midland Park, South Seneca Gardens, through the Riverside neighborhood. This is going to be the destructive winds that have just moved through the Wichita Airport with 100 mile per hour wind gusts confirmed by the National Weather Service office in Wichita. Those most destructive winds are going to be just on the western and northern sides of the Wichita Metro right now. We're hearing the winds blowing us around here at the KSN studios in downtown Wichita. The leading edge of this line is now coming in through, it's bisecting right through the middle of downtown Wichita, and this is going to be moving off to the southeast about 45 to 50 miles per hour. So this is practically doing highway speeds as it rolls through. This is going to be moving in the general direction of Derby, Waco, through Peck and Mulvane, through Rose Hill, through Andover, Benton, Towanda, into Augusta within about the next 15 to 30 minutes. This is the most dangerous portion of the storm moving directly through the Wichita Metro as we speak. Again, we have seen wind gusts to 100 miles per hour. Let's switch us back over towards our downtown Wichita Skyview camera, see what we can see, and just look at how strong these winds are as they come through. We can hear it howling at the studio right now. I would not be surprised if we see some power flashes at some point pretty pretty soon as these winds blow through. These are likely going to be causing lots of power outages. We're still holding on to power for the time being here downtown. I would not be surprised with 100-mile-per-hour winds coming through, especially as we measured that gust on the western side of the Wichita Wichita Metro at the airport. That is where we'll likely have some definite power outages coming up fairly soon. We're going to be continuing to gather more information as we bring this line of thunderstorms through, but I want to stay on here with you to watch this line of storms come through. Again, that leading edge line running from Arthur Heights through the middle of downtown and right along the Kansas Turnpike. It's going to be coming through into Riverside, through Hayesville, Derby. You got 5 minutes before the edge of this line moves through. I'm going to spin our Wichita, our downtown Skyview camera around and see if I can't get it facing towards the south. But this is just absolutely extreme wind coming through downtown. This is going to be destructive wind that could easily blow out windows in your home. If you are on the western or northern face of the house, just make sure that you're staying away from those windows. This is dangerous, serious wind coming in to Wichita, the strongest portion of the line right now in downtown Wichita. That's a live look from downtown, and you can see that that is just, it looks like a car wash outside with the extremely heavy rainfall coming through, the extremely strong winds. This is wind-driven, potentially 100-mile-per-hour winds coming into Wichita right now we speak. The time is up. Time is now to get into shelter. Let's take another look at where that leading edge of the line is now. It's going to be coming through portions of Oliver, right along the Kansas Turnpike through Southeast Boulevard, and as we get a little bit closer, East 47th Street near Midland Tower, Midland Park, Hayesville, now the leading edge of that line coming through, so it's going to be right along Meridian and Seneca Streets as it comes into Hayesville from the west and northwest. Have had a report of 100-mile-per-hour winds right up in northwest Wichita, right at the airport, so that's going to be right here where we registered and measured 100-mile-per-hour winds in Wichita. Likely this line will be capable of producing widespread 80-mile-per-hour gusts for just about everybody. The most intense gusts could be up to 100 miles per hour. This line now moving into the Wichita Metro and moving through portions of the eastern and southern sides of town with the lead edge that is now coming into Hayesville. It's going to be near the Interstate 35 and 135 range in far southern Wichita and moving into the Derby area before too much long. Through Mays, the extremely strong winds have been reported from 80 to 90 miles per hour. We did have a report out of Mount Hope of an 80-mile-per-hour gust about 20 minutes ago, and we're just continuing to watch as this line of extreme winds moves through the downtown area. We can hear it howling outside here at the KSN studios here in downtown. It extends through Peck, the leading edge of this line now moving into Peck through Anson, and it's going to be a little bit less intense on the southwestern sides of the line, but the leading edge of strong winds could be moving through Danville, through Argonia, through Milan, to Anson, Peck, Ziba, through Belle Plaine. This is going to be where we get into the more intense portions of the line where it's oriented from south to northeast. This line's towards the southeast, so that whenever the line is perpendicular to the direction that the storm is moving, that's where we will likely have the strongest winds. It's going to be right through the middle of downtown Wichita and into portions of East Wichita. Now getting into the Andover area. This is where the leading edge of this line is now going to be situated. It's going to be near Greenwich Avenue and the US 400 and Kellogg, excuse me, and this is now moving into the Dover area. We have the extremely strong winds through Mays and Park City, through Valley Center. You may have been woken up a little while ago by the emergency alerts that have been triggered on your cellular device. Just similar to how it works with a tornado warning. If you do wind up inside of the polygon for a warning that includes 80 miles per hour winds, that is a destructive severe thunderstorm warning, and that is what we have right over top of Wichita. This is dangerous wind moving through. 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts were reported just a few miles to the west of downtown Wichita at the airport by the National Weather Service office. We know those reports are accurate. They calibrate those anemometers, and they make sure that those are those are measuring accurately. So we know for a fact that these winds are going to be extremely strong as they move through the leading edge of the line, now coming into Benton through and eventually towards Towanda through Whitewater. Also, don't want to leave out our friends a little farther to the north. The warning does extend as far north as Newton. We've had the worst of the line moving through Newton over the last about 20 minutes. Now Whitewater and Elbing going to be pushing through Furley towards Benton, Potwin towards Hopkins, and eventually into El Dorado. El Dorado also included now in the destructive severe thunderstorm warning that will continue until 5:30 this morning. This is going to be, again, potentially producing wind gusts from 80 to 100 miles per hour. We had a report out of the Wichita National Weather Office on the western sides of town, right next to the airport, right next to the tarmac at the airport, where we had 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts registered. This warning is going to extend until 5:30 for areas farther south and east of the Wichita Metro. The worst wind coming through downtown Wichita. It's howling outside at the KSN studios. It looks like a car wash from our downtown Wichita view camera. Let's switch back over to show you the view from downtown. It's loud. It's sounding a little bit violent outside from our vantage point here downtown at the KSN studios, and these winds are just absolutely ripping through town right now. I want to get another view. We've got a couple more sky view cameras around the Wichita area. This one is from K96 and Rock Road, where we're also watching the just powerful winds buffeting that camera around. We're still holding on to power for the time being, which is great news. Keeps our cameras active and alive so we can see them. And from our Wichita State University camera, also about the same story, watching as those powerful winds whip through the campus at WSU. This is still keeping the power on for the time being in northeastern portions of Wichita. We don't have a view to the southwest where that strongest wind gust was registered, but this is what we're seeing move through right now. Extremely strong winds that are easily capable of producing damage. These could blow the windows inward on the western and northern faces of your house as it moves in, and you want to avoid those windows at all costs. Not be caught looking out and watching the storm roll in, because that window could come crashing in on you. You don't want to be in the path of blowing glass shards moving at 80 to 90 miles per hour if one of those strongest gusts does happen to impact your ocean. So let's switch it back over towards radar, show you where